Okay, so now we have Mani Karthik. Mani is the founder of backtoindia.com. It's an HNI community for NRIs. He's also a marketing vendor for successful startups like Dukan. He's a very nice friend of mine and very happy to welcome Mani here. And Mani, we can interact, we can have the way that you used to do in your videos. So the stage is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Ajay. Hello everyone. How are you doing? Marketing മാത്രമേ madness കാണുന്നില്ലല്ലോ. എല്ലാവരും ഭയങ്കര സീരിയസ് ആയിട്ടിരിക്കുക. You Malayalam, English, Hindi, Tamil? English, okay, fine, wonderful. Great. So, first of all, I want to thank Kerala Startup Mission, Mr. Anup Ambika, for pulling this off. I think this is a fantastic of an event. So I need one help from you. All of you, if you can just raise up for a second. This is where we do the fake enthusiasm stuff, right? No, just for 10 seconds, if you have mobiles on you, if you can take a vertical video and have an applause for 10 seconds continuous, and I want to tag Mr. Anup Ambika, send it over to him, thanking for this whole event. Can you do that? So all of us do the clapping like for 10 seconds. Whoever has the cameras, phones, just record it, okay? And tag Mr. Anup Ambika and Startup Mission obviously, and send it over. Is that okay? Yeah. Whoever has the camera. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3, go. 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you all. Thank you all. So yes, thanks Kerala Startup Mission for this. Thank you Ajay for the wonderful introduction. I think this is a great crowd. Marketing, right? So let me take I need to get an idea of how or what the crowd is. How many of you all are SaaS startups here? SaaS or, just raise your hands. Wonderful, okay. How many of you are into services? Wonderful, okay, that's a bigger crowd. Great. So my forte is in organic marketing. How many of you all know what organic marketing is? Like SEO, you have a website, you bring people in, convert them, links, that stuff. Okay, great. So I'll probably just share my story and without getting too, theoretical, just share you examples of how things worked out for me, how I failed, my whole journey. Is that better? Rather than, a boring presentation. Wonderful, great. So how many of you know me? I see some familiar faces here. Ajay, of course, and a few others. If you can raise your hands. How many of you follow me on Insta and everything? Wonderful, great. Okay, so the topic here is marketing simplified strategies for budding startups, but essentially what it is going to be is what works in 2024 and possibly in 2025, what has not worked for me, why 80% of startups that we know of succeed fail, and what the other 20% is doing right, so that we can learn from them and go home and do exactly the same thing, right? That's all that matters. Okay, so just a little bit of introduction about me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mani Karthik, as Ajay mentioned, and I was in the US up until 2017. Basically my forte and my whole entire career was into building websites and helping them scale, grow organically, and do the sales and everything. People call it growth hacking, marketing. I call it roll up your sleeves and do whatever it takes to get your customers online, right? So online marketing, whatever you want to call it, this is what I do. In 2017, I was working in the Valley with a bunch of different startups, but then I watched this movie called Swades by Shah Rukh Khan. Have you seen it? How many of you watched Swades? Wonderful. So I watched this and I thought like, wow, I need to go back to my country because my people need me. I need to contribute back to my country. So I started, somebody's like, so yeah, that's exactly how my family reacted. So I started a community called Back to India, which is basically a community for NRIs to get back to India. Because trust me, there are a lot of people who wants to do it, and there was no other platform that would help them or enable them to do it. So I created like a one-page website, just like a DIY kind of a website, like things you should do before moving back to India. And it went viral. We got featured on BBC, the News Minute, Yahoo, and a few other bunch of media houses. And then here I am. So in last 5 years, we've grown to 16,000 members, all of them 99% in the US. And we have communities in all the major cities in India, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Mumbai, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to think of. And we help NRIs come back to India, and some of you are thinking, you must be nuts, right? How many of you thought I'm nuts? Be honest, it's okay, I know. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, man. Oh, I know you. Okay, so yes, so this is the reaction, right? Especially in Kerala, when people say, you filed for your green card, you've invested 15 years in the US, and you work for the best of the best companies, you're driving a Tesla, no air pollution, things like that, and you're thinking of coming back to India, you must be nuts. But trust me, there is that 1% of people who come back to India, and I've seen most of the activity in Hyderabad, Bangalore, Pune, Chennai a little bit, but not so much in this part of the world. So I'm trying to see if I can help in that regard. But anyways, long story short, marketing is my forte. I've helped a bunch of different startups like Dukan. We started back in 2021. We scaled like anything, went through a bunch of different rounds of funding. I also help and mentor a few startups associated with the startup mission as well. So that's what I do, without boring you. Okay. Great. So how many of you know these companies? These are the companies that I've helped, okay, scale and grow. Wonderful companies, but most of them are SaaS companies, software as a service. They do have a website, and their whole agenda is to get people into their websites, do something on the website, get or convert into a lead, and then hand over their credit card to you and buy something off of your website, right? So that's what I do. So what is the common denominator in all of these companies? So when you say marketing, right, a lot of you have budgets with marketing, right? How many of you have budgets? How many have budgets in millions here? We need to be friends. Oh, yeah, okay, we need to be friends, offline. No, just kidding. So, not all of you have budgets, right? We all work on shoestring budgets, especially in these times, post-COVID. So, my forte is to grow your company organically, which I call as a zero-click marketing or zero budget marketing. Where you try and do stuff that will give you a long-term ROI. So when you have budgets, what do? You go to PPC, you spend money on Google and all other things, and then when you don't have money, poof, it's all gone, right? So that's not a very reliable way of doing things. So instead, invest in organic marketing where you can get your benefits 5 years from now, 10 years from now. That's how Google and every other search engine works. So that's what I try and do, and that's a common denominator in all these companies that we just saw. Great. And feel free to raise your hand if you don't get what I'm saying, like anything is Greek or Latin, okay? Because I can get a little technical and I hate it, but so I'm on Insta. If you guys want to ping me offline with any kind of questions or doubts, feel free to. And I do a bunch of fun videos as well. Ajay knows, right? So so we've been doing a lot of, I talk about psychology, a little bit of marketing, a little bit of AI. So feel free to follow me and ping me there. And these are a bunch of different companies that I've worked with, and I'm just showing off right now, okay? I'm just boasting and just showing off right now, just to get your attention. These are the companies I've worked for, and these are the kind of results that we've achieved. In video, you probably would know it. Happy Fox, Back to India, that's my personal project. My Care, if Senu's hand is here, I've helped them as well, and they've gone through an amazing growth phase. So how do we do this? Marketing is half math, it's written there, half art and half math, right? That's what I believe. A lot of people, right? There are two types of marketers. How many of you think everything is data driven? I find more of these people around these days. Everything is data. Data data is half math and half art is what marketing is, because I'll tell you why. You see, today, what's happening with marketing? All of us have websites. All of us have. Why do we have websites? Can somebody tell me, what is the real objective of having a website? To showcase what your company is doing, right? But for whom? Okay, your target audience. What company are you talking about, sir? Yours or someone else's? Okay, can we take an example? Like anyone who has a website and who's focusing on the target audience through the website. Anyone, any company, any product, any services. You, ma'am. What is your product? It's a clothing brand. Okay, so it must be on like Shopify or an e-commerce. Okay, great. And you have your website as well. What is it called? Free advertising for you. I didn't get that. Can someone help? Beaver Stores. Beavers. Okay, beaversstores.com. Okay, everybody go check out beaversstores.com. And what do you sell? What kind of? Okay, I didn't get that, but I'm guessing apparels, right? Okay, wonderful. So this is a fine example. Thank you, ma'am. Please be seated. This is a fine example of someone trying to sell something through their website. And many of us do in different capacities, right? Some of you must be selling services. Some of you must be selling software, right? Anything. And we always have our target audience. But the problem here, whenever we think of marketing, we think of ourselves. And this is what I've seen in most cases. We always think about my product, my audience, and my tools. Let me explain. I know this is a little bit difficult to explain. So we make a website, right? My product is xyzapparels.com, and I have a bunch of things to sell. I have a Shopify e-commerce platform set up, or Dukan, or whatever. And I know my audience is going to be what? All females in Kerala or in South India in the age of this and this, right? Some sort of specification. And then you think about, okay, what can I do? Let's just put in 10,000 rupees per month and go for the tool which you're available to use, Google PPC, right? And then you go ahead and do marketing. Is this the right way of doing marketing? Come on, just be honest. I'm 100% sure most of you would have tried this and failed. And it's okay to fail, because this is a problem that's existing everywhere in this industry, right? Everybody just looks at, what do I have to sell, whom am I selling for, and what tools I will have, and then just go ahead and do it just blindly, right? Just hoping. It's just wishful thinking, right? You know what's the difference between wishful thinking and an actual strategy? Failure and success, that's it. Wishful thinking is just wishful thinking. It's not going to materialize unless you have a proper strategy behind it. And you started wrong because you are thinking about what? Your product, right? First. And then my audience and your tools. That is not going to connect easily. Must have worked like 20 years back, 10 years back, not today. Right? So what you need to do today, and my recommendation is that, and I'll come to this. I think I jumped the slide. Okay. And what you need to do is think about how you can connect with your audience in the least possible way. Forget about your product. Forget about everything that you can do online, and just think about what you can do to earn people's respect. And that is the solution. Forget about your product. Focus on your prospect and earn their respect. You might want to take photos of this. I took a lot of time trying to figure out a rhyming word. Okay? And let me explain what this is. What is a prospect? How many of you know what a prospect is? Sales guys out here. Sales guys must know what is a prospect, right? What is a prospect? Potential lead or anyone who would possibly buy your product in the next X number of days, right? So that is a differentiating from your typical target audience, right? You are one step further ahead. Now, all you need to do in marketing is focus on this person. Identify this person. So let's say, for example, Ajay, tomorrow, I have a feeling that he might buy my services tomorrow. He's a prospect to me. And all I have to focus on is try to earn his respect with marketing. And that's all. Today's world, it's not about your logo, it's not about your color, it's not about the fancy website you have. It's all about whether you are trustworthy or not, right? How many brands do we trust? Very few, and we always engage with them, isn't it? True or not? Yes? Yes? Madness, come on. Yes, wonderful, great. Because this is a kind of customer journey that's happening today. How many of you, when you think of buying a product, let's say an iPhone or a bicycle or something, go to Google and go to the first website and make an immediate purchase? Does anybody do that? No, right? But you are thinking your target audience or your prospect would do that when it comes to your product, right? Let me show up, okay. Let me show up first on Google, and then everybody will come to my website and buy it off. No, it doesn't work like that, right? They have to go through a lot of loops. They go to the website, they go back to social media, they'll search on Quora and every other thing, and then they won't buy. They will keep it on the side burner for like X number of days, and then they'll come back to you, and then all your marketing funnel has gone bonkers, right? You have no attribution, nothing. You don't know where this person came from, but this is what a user journey is, and this is the reason why the solution I just mentioned is more relevant, right? So I'm just going to speed ahead. I have a bunch of rules, I'll just go through it. Number one is ROI is everything, right? The data folks here, you will love this, right? The ROI, everything is ROI, right? If it doesn't make sense in ROI terms, don't do it. So every pixel counts, every dollar counts. So whatever stuff you do in marketing, make sure it has an ROI tied to it. Otherwise, we'll be just friends. Number two is experiment like crazy. And this is something I'm not seeing a lot of people do. You just stick to one thing and hope it works for the next 6 months. No, in marketing cycles, you're talking about a few hours or days even as experiments. Keep crazy experiments going on day in and day out, and if something fails, just fade it out, and if something works, pick it up and scale it, right? That's rule number three. How many of you do crazy experiments, like, on a weekly basis here? 1, 2, great. We need more people. 3, we need more people to do this, okay? Do more experiments. You got 5 more minutes? Okay, wonderful. And your content, how many of you do content marketing? How many of you have blogs? And wonderful, this is great. When I say content, it doesn't mean just textual stuff, also video, social, and everything else. But whatever it takes, your content is a magic mushroom to your prospect, right? You know what magic mushroom is? Have you played Mario? How many of you guys are from the 90s? 90s kids, right? You know Mario, right? Yeah. And then it hits something, and then a red mushroom jumps up, it eats it, and becomes like 2x, right? Your product should be like that magic mushroom, right? Nothing else. And it takes a lot of conviction to get there. Great. Rule number 5 is marketing should support sales and vice versa, because I'm seeing a lot of people do this mistake. Marketing is one team, sales is another team, and it's a tutu-meme game between both of them, right? Sales says, oh, marketing is shit. Sorry, excuse my French. They say, oh, it doesn't work, you're giving us false leads, these are all, nothing works. And then marketing says, it's your problem, you can't convert, right? You're not talking to them right, you're not pitching them right. And there's always a blame game. Don't do that. Because I'm telling you, you can get a lot of insights from your sales team that you can incorporate in your marketing game plan, right? So one of the things that I always do when I'm working with these SaaS companies is, I sit with the sales team on every sales call. Not every sales call, because exaggerating, a few sales calls, because you get a lot of opinions, a lot of insights from your real customers. Right? So make use of those in your marketing campaign. It should not be a standalone stuff. Okay? Ajay has put me under pressure here. I'm just rushing through my slides. I got like 58 slides and I'm on like 25. Okay, the 10x formula. This is a wonderful one. I mean, I've come across this a few times with a few successful ones, but I think more than many of us should be doing this. Number 1, attract your customers with your content, right? All the social media reels, the blogs, the top 10 articles, everything that you do, what does it do? It attracts people. It's like basically window shoppers. So imagine like you have a shop in Lulu Mall, and there are folks walking, outside your shop. They just go back and forth. They remember your brand, but they don't buy anything. They don't have any intention. Same thing with all these top 10 articles and blogs that you do, right? It basically attracts, but that's all. But it should go beyond. It should also engage and basically engage with your product or your service, right? And there are a lot of people who do this with their amazing pieces of content, like, polls, quizzes, and things like that. I don't want to get technical. And then it should also convert. What do you mean by conversion? Am I too fast? Okay. What do you mean by conversion? Come on. No, Ajay is not supposed to answer. Okay. Someone from the back, please. What is a conversion? Yes, sir. Convert to sales, exactly. So what good is marketing if it doesn't end up in sales, right? These days, you don't talk about this. We just say marketing is a standalone thing, and we can only give you MQLs. Do you know about what MQLs are? People say, oh, I can only give you marketing qualified leads. Converting them to SQLs or sales qualified leads is your headache. No, that shouldn't happen, right? MQLs, SQLs, whatever you want to call it, money, right? That's what it matters. It should come into an endpoint which is people just show up their credit cards and buy your stuff online. Retain, that's the last point, which is very, very important. How many of you have customers who refer your companies to others? Great. How do you track it? How do you track it, sir? How do you track if people are referring your companies to others? You don't know. Okay, someone over here. How do you track it? How do you track it? You have hospitals, so word of mouth, right? Yeah, wonderful. How many of you do NPS scores? Net Promoter Scores. Right, you have to do it. See, tomorrow, all of us have like HubSpot and all these kind of fancy automation programs, right? But none of them check or monitor whether your actual customers or paying customers refer, their friends to your product. And that is absolutely essential. And these days we have, I think even HubSpot might have that particular module, but we have tracking mechanisms for that, because it takes a lot of conviction for someone to refer your product. We might enjoy a product, but just because of, we don't have, we have only limited budgets, or you have somebody inside the company that you might like, or for whatever reason. But to refer somebody else to that particular product, your product has to be damn good. So your marketing doesn't stop at conversions, which is your typical wisdom. It should go all the way into retaining and referrals as well. Okay, you got that? You're with me? Madness, people? Yes? Okay, great. This is a very, very commonly seen problem that I come across. We have a lot of traffic on our website, but no conversions, right? That's because you don't have no marketing automation done, right? There are a lot of different products available like Marketo, Pardot, Eloqua, ShopSpring, whatever you want to think of, that you have to set up on your website. It's not like your CEO's job to check out how effective your marketing automation is, or how effective your marketing campaign is. It have to be streamlined. Another problem is we're publishing a lot of content on our blog or our FAQ pages or knowledge base, but no ranks on Google. How many of you are high on Google? Like you check your ranks day in and day out in the morning. How many of you do that? Just one person? Nobody else cares about Google? One more person? Okay, that's a little bit more. Nobody else checks your ranks, or at least your brand name for sure, right? Like where is your position? Okay, so a lot of people complain, we are writing a lot of content but no ranks, and that's because your content doesn't have the kind of topical relevance it should need to rank high on Google. And these days there's a lot of moving things in Google and other search engines that it's very difficult to figure out what's actually working. But few things that actually work is topical relevance. Then there's a little bit of keyword clustering that's required. There's also domain authority, which is how popular your website is. Like for example, you come here, you meet a bunch of people here. How popular are you? Depends on how many friends you got, right? Same thing for your website. If your website got friends who are linking to it and it's more popular, taking their name, then you have higher chances of ranking on Google. And also it comes with expertise and trust. I don't want to jump into the details, but you just keep in mind. How many of you write blog articles? Okay, wonderful. How do you write it? Don't tell me ChatGPT. Yes? Somebody's smiling. Okay, 2 more minutes. So basically you have to write for search intent, basically keeping your target audience in mind. You have to fact check articles. Gone are the days you could just run away with running a health blog and saying, oh, here are the 5 things you should do when you get heart attack. Number 1, go to the hospital. I don't need you to tell me that. So actually have experts vouch for your content and earn backlinks from the category. Make sure that you have a high production frequency, periodic updates, and track competition. Ajay told me I have 2 minutes to go, so I'm just going to skip a few more slides and get to the last part of it. One of the strategies that I always try and advocate for people is this hub and spoke strategy. Basically, if you have a lot of content being published, make sure you have some very important pages, which I call the hub, and then the less important pages, which are more relevant under that category, linking up to it, and published underneath the hub, called the spokes, kind of like this. And this is an example of how we did it in My Care. Like we have a particular topic called urology, which is the hub, and underneath that you have a bunch of different articles, and this creates a topical relevance for you on Google. Same thing with Supermoney, another company that I've helped. You know, they talk about personal loans, which is a hub, and then there's every time there's an update about personal loans, almost every day. And it's written by authors who are actual experts. Great. So these things I'm just going to skip because it's very technical. My final advice is build a brand and not a product. Right? What is a brand? A purple colored logo with the whatever. No, that's not a brand, right? What is a brand? A brand is an experience, right? A brand is an experience. Today, we day in and day out, we are thrown, or we are exposed to a bunch of different, at least 50 to 100 brands on a daily basis. Through reels, through content, through videos. It's not easy to catch people's attention with just a colorful logo or a beautiful font. It's the experience you give them. So invest in a good brand and not just a product or a service. And that goes a long way. And start with figuring out what is the most important thing for you on your website, and just optimize and focus on that alone. Not a lot of things. A lot of people said, we use our website as a, a business card, or showing people what our products and services are. No, you have a website because you have somebody to sell it to, and you're trying to bring them through the website, right? That should be the only purpose of your website. I'm just going to skip a few of these because they are very, very technical. This is something that I would end up with. Do experiments, scale what wins, and fade out what doesn't. Very important to save your budgets. And do the 5% that impacts the 95%. How many of you have seen, we published 100 pages, or we did a lot of SEO, we did a lot of PPC, but actually what works is that one random thing you just did, just because we wanted to. And all the other things that you did was, waste, right? It's not like that. It's the Pareto's principle, right? The 80-20 rule. Whatever you do, the 20% you do affects the 80%. It's the same thing in marketing as well. And you need to find out what that 5% is in your case. It may not be the same with everyone. And just scale up and champion that, right? And then just rinse and repeat on a daily basis, right? Good marketing is awareness. Great marketing is revenue. A lot of people stop with that. But kick-ass marketing is all about referrals, okay? So if nobody is recommending your product to someone else, you must be doing something wrong, and you're not able to, I'm pretty damn sure you won't be able to scale your business, 5 years from now. That's the hard truth. Great. So whether you're a startup or a scaling SaaS company, the best time to invest in organic marketing was yesterday. The second best time is today. So invest in organic marketing. Today's content economy, or it's called content economy. Yeah, the content economy is booming like anything. If you are not jumping in, you are missing out on it. I hope you found this useful. If you have questions, I'll take it. I know I went like Vande Bharat, right? Boom, 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 boom. Sorry.
Yeah. Hello.
That was 58 slides in 30 minutes.
I saw the number of slides, that's why I gave the hint in between. So I thought it's going to take an hour. So thank you so much, Mani. So basically, I'm sure that you will have a lot of questions. Mani will be available offline. Will be available tomorrow? Yes. Okay. So he's very much available. So please make use of him. Basically, if you you can reach out in Instagram. That's where I get most responses. So he's available. Just stay connected. So now I have a small token of advice, token of love from Kerala Startup Mission. We have some sponsors. So on behalf of
By the way, did you all post that video to Mr. Anup on Insta? I wasn't joking about that, by the way, okay? Okay, thank you.